Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at the potential for 4 winter storms that could be impacting parts of the north with some potential snowfall. And we're just going to be looking at the potential for this, so not guaranteed to happen, but we're going to kind of be forecasting these 4 winter storms. And then I actually made 4 maps for each of these storms, so I hope you guys watch till the end to find out what I'm forecasting for these systems. Now, we're going to start off, before we get into the video, please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications so you never miss an upload. Now, here's the National Weather Service. Before we do get into the winter storms, we start off with the National Weather Service. Winter weather advisories over parts of near Lake Erie and Lake Superior and Lake Ontario. And then we have some frost advisories over parts of South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and Alabama. Air stagnation advisories, where you could have some low air quality over parts of the Northwest. And then just one little pocket of frost advisories and freeze warnings. Now, we're going to start off with our first storm, and this is from the European model. So this is a storm. The first 2 storms are the ones that we have the most confidence in, since they're fairly close. They're not too far out. The rest of the storms are about 7 or so days out, so we have less confidence in them. But this is from the European model. We're going to be looking at the European model for all of these. One thing I want to point out, this red line indicates the 32-degree line, so where your air temperature is at 32 degrees, and that is the freezing point. So anywhere in here, this snow should be sticking to the ground, or at least falling, making it all the way down to the surface. If you get snow outside of here, you might still see some snowflakes, but they're probably not going to stick to the ground, and they might not even reach the ground if it does appear on this precipitation map. Now, here's for this morning, and you're going to see this system kind of joins together. This would be for tonight over North Dakota and Minnesota, and then you get some heavier bands of snowfall over Wisconsin by Monday morning, and it kind of stays over northern Wisconsin, Minnesota, and the UP of Michigan, and then it moves out to Canada by Monday night. Now, here's your total snowfall from that system, and this would only be for this system. Some of this snow over here would be lake effect, but some of it is actually from this storm system. But you see a pretty good area of at least a coating, and then some areas seeing about 1 to 3 inches. And here's my forecast. So all of these areas in this lighter blue are at least going to be receiving a coating, and this extends from anywhere from Idaho, Washington, especially the higher elevations, down through about Wyoming, Nebraska, Iowa, northern Illinois, and then through the Great Lakes, and then into upstate New York. Now these areas, now we add the second layer, this 1 to 3 inch area in this darker blue. You could be seeing 1 to 3 inches of snowfall. This is mainly for the higher elevations. Some areas in the higher elevations could definitely be seeing about 5 inches. Some isolated areas more, but generally 1 to 3 inches in that area. And then over northern Michigan and then into eastern Wisconsin, you could be seeing another 1 to 3 inches. Now, here's storm number 2, also from the European model, and we start off here Tuesday morning, and it's this system that comes out from the north. So you see this little area of energy over parts of southern Canada, and the northern U.S., and that's gonna kind of start to move down south. So you see it's right over here over South Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, and this one's a bit further south, so this could actually impact parts of Minneapolis with more snowfall than the other system did, and then it kind of tracks a bit further north into northern Michigan by Wednesday night, and then the system goes out into Canada. Now here's your total snowfall from these 2 combined systems. So throughout the next about 3 days, this is your snowfall, and you see most of these areas over the north central part of the U.S. have seen at least a dusting, and some of these areas have seen about 3+ inches, and some isolated areas where banding sets up could be seeing about 6 inches of snowfall, especially with some lake effect snow that could come in along with that system. Now here's my forecast. So the first layer, all of these areas could see at least a coating of snow. Now you could be seeing 1 to 3 inches of snowfall in these two areas. You see, we have one area over here over parts of South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, and Nebraska, and these areas could be seeing 1 to 3 inches. Higher elevations could see 3 to 5, maybe 5 to 8 plus inches, and then 1 to 3 inches over parts of Minnesota, northern Iowa, Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, and northern Michigan as well. And this also includes the Twin Cities, St. Paul and Minneapolis. Those two cities could also get in on some of this 1 to 3 inch snowfall, and then this extra area, 3 to 5 inches. Some of this will be lake enhanced, and that'll some lake effect snowfall along with that. So that could definitely ramp up the snow totals. But you see, 3 to 5 inches over parts of the southern UP of Michigan, the northern part of Michigan, and then parts of north central parts of Wisconsin. Now, we're going to look at Storm 3 here from the European model, of course. And you see, it's this part, this system actually gives the least amount of snowfall, and we have a bit less certainty. The models have been kind of flipping around, tracking this a bit further north and a bit further south. So some models have been indicating snow here, some have been indicating it here. This is really if you average them out, most models have it somewhere in this area with some snowfall, and then also a bit more certainty that we'll see some in the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas, and then into parts of the Rockies. Now you see that system really gets going. It's more of a rain system than a snowfall system, and even if you do see snowfall, it really won't stick in either of these two areas that could be receiving snowfall. So you see a bit of snow developing in southeast Colorado, and then moving into the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma, but then it really moves out. And then this is what we're talking about for the snowfall over parts of the mid-Atlantic. And this has kind of been flipping around, so we're not too certain on this, but you see, we're seeing about some moderate snowfall mixing in, especially in some higher elevations, and then it goes a bit more widespread with some flurries and sometimes getting into some moderate snowfall, and then it moves out, and then all you're seeing is thunderstorms and some lake effect snowfall. Now, here's your total snowfall from all three of these systems, and you see, over here you're seeing about a coating, and then also here for the mid-Atlantic. So these two areas could be affected by this system. Now here's my snowfall map from this. I made all of these maps handmade, all the snowfall maps. So you see we have a coating in two areas. We have one over southeast Colorado, northeast New Mexico, the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma, and then also for a good portion of southern Kansas. And then also for the mid-Atlantic, which includes the southern 3/4 of New Jersey, southern half of Pennsylvania, northern of Virginia, parts of eastern West Virginia, most of Maryland, and Delaware as well. All of these areas could be seeing a little bit of snowfall, about a coating, and then you see a 1 to 3 inch band setting up here for parts of the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma, and then also for Kansas there. Now, here we're going to look at Storm 4, our final storm system from the European model. And you see, this is the big storm system. This is the storm system that models are showing 8 to 12 inches from. I didn't forecast 8 to 12 inches just because we're very uncertain how this is going to play out. The recent model runs from the European model have all indicated this, and the GFS is starting to kind of get on this train or this trying to get along with this storm system that's going to be kind of moving through, and it's going to be quite a weird system. It's going to move out, and it's going to have snow on the west side instead of the northwest side, and rain on the east side. And it's not just like an Alberta Clipper, because Alberta Clippers are just snowfall for the most part, maybe a little bit of rain early on. But this system, it's a bit different. It's going to span pretty much across the entire country and move eastward. And then the northern half of that could be seeing snowfall. So definitely interesting how this is going to play out. So you see this energy over parts of British Columbia, Alberta, Canada, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. All these areas could be seeing snowfall. And then that really intense heavy snowfall, moderate snowfall, all spreading anywhere from Montana all the way to northern Michigan. And then some some lake effect over parts of the Northeast. Now it starts to move further south, and you see some very heavy snowfall on the back side of this, and then it starts to move through. Now by this would be for Tuesday morning. It's over New York City, Washington D.C., Boston, all throughout the northern part of the I-95 corridor, and then it exits maybe some snowfall on the backside as well. Now here's your total snowfall from this all four of these systems, and you see all of these areas have at least received some snowfall according to the European model over the next 10 days. Some pockets seeing 6+ inches, especially over the Great Lakes and the Rockies, and then a good amount of areas seeing at least 1 to 3 inches of snowfall. So here's my forecast. And you see, all these areas are going to be receiving at least a coating of snowfall. Now, we add another layer here, 1 to 3 inches of snowfall over this area, and that's a good chunk of this snowstorm. Good chunk of this area could be seeing at least 1 to 3 inches, and then 3 to 5 inches setting over the interior Northeast. Especially, it could be lake enhanced, where you could have some lake effect coming off, especially since you have a lot of warm lakes, which leads to a lot more moisture being allowed to go over the lakes and bring in some more snowfall. And then you're going to see another area over the Rockies, mainly because it's higher elevations, and the surrounding areas, the lower elevations, shouldn't be seeing 3 to 5 inches, not as much as that, but the higher elevations definitely could be seeing 5 to 8 inches, which will be indicated by this next layer, where you have 5 to 8+ inches over parts of Montana. Especially those higher elevations could be seeing 8+ inches, around 8 to 12, 12 to 18, like the European model was indicating. The European model was showing 12 to 18 inches of snowfall over parts of these areas, but I kind of toned it down since we have less certainty on this system. Don't want to be as robust as the European model this far out, since we have such little certainty. Anyways, that is going to wrap up the video. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications so you never miss a video when I upload. Now, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.